Welcome to Response-Able Parenting, the podcast that shows you how to parent in alignment to your emotions, needs, and goals versus your programming, bad advice, and let's face it, outdated strategies that just don't work. You'll get in the trenches support on nervous system and emotional regulation, critical mindset shifts, stronger communication strategies, and more. In this podcast, you'll gain transformational tools that take you from reacting to every frustration to responding with clarity, regulation, and finally setting the example you desire for your kids. I'm Becky Jennings, your new parenting coach, and this is the Response-Able Parenting Podcast. Let's get into it. I am very excited to share this podcast episode with you. It is a quick, very short burst of parental wisdom for you. I did a little series last year called Shift Happens. It's basically taking something that inspired me and I spin it into parental viewpoints to really just give you like a quick hit of motivation. So this one is very topical. It's about how we put the pressure on our kids, how we approach them, and what our expectations are. And when we can shift the expectation, I talk about that in the podcast episode, we really give our kids an opportunity to thrive, to reduce the level of shame, to reduce the level of competition, to reduce their nervous system threat. And so I am excited for you to hear this episode. It is under 5 minutes when it begins. So enjoy and thank you for joining me. I'll see you next week. Hello and welcome to Shift Happens. This is where I share something that has shifted within me in order to help shift your parenting perspective within 5 minutes or less. Think of it as your quick parenting hit throughout the week so you can gain a little bit of insight, a little bit of wisdom and knowledge, and move on throughout your week. So this comes from Instagram, actually from Coach Baseball. His name is James Lowe, and he was talking about how he and another player were kind of feeling energetically at the bottom of the ninth. There were 2 outs, and it was essentially up to them to win the state championship. And he was talking about how he was calm, cool, and collected, while the other player was absolutely not. And a large part had to do with how each parent of the respective child was kind of putting weight on the moment. Okay, so he said, the process is the win. Results will cripple you. The process is the win. Results will cripple you. And it made me really think that most of us in our 40s plus, there is a huge, there's a lot of weight on the outcome. There's a lot of weight on the result, right? It almost feels like that people pleasing, that perfectionism. Like if we don't have this perfect ideal outcome, if our child doesn't perform, then it reflects back on us and not in a positive way. It reflects back on us. Our goodness, our abilities are in question based off how our children are performing. For instance, my son has ADHD and we are really struggling in one skill set. And we were talking about it and he said, but what if I can't do it? And it made me think of this exact thing. And I said to him, it's not about whether or not you do it perfectly every single time. It's about seeing the effort, seeing the try. And when we can see the try, we know that the intrinsic motivation is there. We know that you are actually putting in the effort. And the more we teach our children about the effort, the results will come in time. They'll develop this skill, but they will be developing that skill because it's coming from a place within, not because of all this external pressure. Basically determining the pressure and the output is determining whether or not you are valuable, determining whether or not you are worthy or a good kid, a good parent, right? So it's the effort, it's the try that we need to be instilling in our child. For instance, we were talking with the teacher and my son is struggling a little bit with listening in class. That is a large part with ADHD, and we are trying to see it as the ADHD and as a lack and deficient skill versus our child, right? Those are 2 very different things. And imagine if I'm telling my child, this is who you are, this is bad, you are bad, versus saying, when we see you try, that's showing us that you're on the right track. When we see the effort, so we are doing something where I am encouraging the noticing of the effort. It's 2025 and there is more parenting advice than ever before. Yet we're still confused, stuck, and defaulting back to the way our parents raised us in the 80s and 90s. Parenting has evolved since then, and it's time your strategies do too. Welcome to the Response Able Parenting community. This is where you get the support you're looking for so you can make fast, positive, and long-term change in your household. Inside my community, you get access to my signature course, Stuck to Strong, your emotional regulation roadmap to raising ADHD and strong-willed kids. You have my Fast Way to Regulate challenge, giving you 30 days of nervous system work to completely rewire how you react to the stress of parenting. On top of that, you have weekly opportunities to connect with me and get personalized support on issues that challenged you that week. You also have quarterly workshops, bite-sized mini lessons to keep you motivated, and everything I add for as long as you're a member. This is your place to filter out all the noise and get practical strategies that work. Join the community today and start feeling relief as early as tonight. So if you're going to reflect and kind of put this into practice in your own life, where are you looking at your child to perform a certain way, to have a certain result? And how can we shift this in our brain to, can I notice the try? Can I notice the effort? Can I notice when my child is motivated intrinsically versus my fear versus my expectations being the driving force of the reason why they're working at this so hard? So let us shift in our brain. Let us take the wisdom and the words from James Lowe, Coach Baseball. The process is the win. Results will cripple you. Thank you for joining me again. I'll see you next week. Thank you for listening to the Response Able Parenting podcast. If you like what you heard, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. If you know someone who would benefit from this podcast, I'd be honored if you'd share this episode with them. Until next time, know that you are enough, you are capable, you've made it through all of your hardest days, and we will keep growing on this parenting journey together. This podcast was produced by Kim Kelty and myself, Becky Jennings, and edited by the Kelty Method, Branding and Podcasting.